Hello, everybody. I'm feeling crusted, dusted, busted, and like I miss this channel. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do anything in terms of this channel in January when I'm trying to do like a full on fucking. Oh, it feels good to cuss. I haven't done that in forever. When I do a full on, oh, hello, bot. I was just about to say, I was like, did I do this public or not? I wanted it to be. So I'm at 8. No, I'm just kidding. No, I didn't really do a lot of private streams. It was just like one. But I'm done. I'm done. My hiatus is over. I'm done. But I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna wrap some stocking stuffers. Pretty basic things. But I miss this channel so much. I know. What are you talking about, bot? This is the first stream I'm ever doing. Don't you know? Duh. First stream. No, but I probably should share it in the Discord. It's time. Did you get a notification, bot? Oh yeah, can you notify it? Can you notify people? You can go ahead and tag everyone so I can get us started because I think I'm done. I think I'm done with my hiatus. Like, I don't even really know like all the reasons why I went on a hiatus. There were so many reasons. I had like 13 reasons, I guess. But I was wanting to do just like a clean start of this channel again for a minute. I don't know if this is the good time to start, but I was just like, like I think back then when I stopped, um, I was feeling really, really insecure just in general. And I may feel that way again, if I'm honest. Like, I might, because I have to go back into the deficit and stuff, like, probably around the 26th of December. So I'm planning on going back to total diet culture by the 28th of December. I missed you like it was the very first night, period. Deadass. Oh gosh. Tell me why. Like, I feel like I should go live when I just have a lyric burning red. And yes, my red era is not over at all. I didn't know if my red era would survive the end of Sag season, but it did. I went straight into a comeback be here moment, and I was like, okay, no, it's not done. Red is not over. I must be Red Taylor's version era because there's like a whole ass other list of songs, so it's longer. But yeah, I was very insecure at the time, and I was worried about, especially like Libra season. It was very risky astrologically. It was super, super risky, and I just didn't trust myself not to be too volatile during that time. And so, honestly, that's partly why I left for a while. Um, you know, there's a lot of practical reasons why I went back or why I stopped. Like, I had to hit the ground running and I had to work extremely hard. Basically, from September on, we had our fugly last throw of Pluto and Capricorn. And I'm a Scorpio rising. So when Pluto goes into Capricorn, I become the most busted of bitches, like, period. It busted me up literally the whole 15 years. I think I was pretty fucking busted the entire time. And, oh my God, Lisa. I mean, I feel like my next era is probably going to be Reputation. So I'm like, okay, Alex, like, just chill, like, just live the red for a while. It probably will last till at least like April. So just be red. It's fine. Red is creative. Red is good. Red is nice. There's still some nice little romantical era stuff in the era. And it's like, okay, let's just accept that it's not over. Um, my red era technically started in April of 2023, if I want to be real. I know, I know. That's true. That's true, Lisa. Um, but yeah, I think it technically started April 2023, so April would be about 2 years. It's typically how long an era lasts. So we'll have to revisit that in April if I'm still in my red era. But I feel like the rep era will probably come next. Yeah, I have a feeling because I feel like okay, this is just going to be a stream about me bitching about astrology. Like honestly, I have literally hated this astrology so much. I cannot stand South Node in Libra. South Node in Libra is really annoying for me. It's really a time when you have to be demure, mindful. You have to be really careful. Like if you are too nasty, people will push back on you immediately or like get really bitchy with you to kind of like put you back to balance. Like everybody wants balance. And that's okay, you know? Um, but I'm a Scorpio rising and I don't like it. I don't like Libra energy that much. It bothers me. I don't hate it anymore though. Like I feel like I understand Libra energy and I respect it. Like I feel like I'm familiar with it and I get it. And I think there is a time and place. So I appreciate this time, but it has been really hard. And part of that is like it's why I didn't want to go live. Because I'm like, gosh, like if I say anything, then people are gonna bitchify onto me. And I just didn't want to also honestly, because of the election, I just didn't. You know, I didn't want to be talking about it while it was happening. Um, I felt like I would be too tempted to talk about it, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to be a polarizing voice at a time where people are so polarized and just in that space. And I also swore off political activism. And so that was another reason why I had to back off of here because that was a huge thing. And then other than that, I would say, yeah, Pluto being back in Capricorn, I was just like, no, I'm not going to risk it. You know, that energy is just so negative and horrible. And so I was like, let me just suffer alone, basically, in it and just like die by myself. Um, other than that, I would say like I definitely had some, I don't know, there's been a lot of times in my journey where I get embarrassed about my content. And so I had a moment like that. Um, and I was like, because I still honestly, through a lot of the early part of this year, I was working through a lot of stuff. And it's kind of like I don't need that all out there as much because I don't think it's relevant anymore. You know, it's like now it's easier. We're in a new era. Like, yeah, I totally feel you, Lisa. And I don't get it as bad for my main channel, but for this one, I do because this one is more personal. And so it's like, ooh, you know, and I just wasn't feeling very confident, and part of like being in my brat era, as I've talked about on my main channel, was getting my confidence back. And I feel like I've reached a point where I have it again. And I'm like, I have my confidence back. Like I feel like I can do this. Hold on, I'm just gonna notify somebody because somebody on TikTok asked me about this channel. So I'm going to go ahead and let them know I'm live. I'm live. Anyways, because they were asking, because most people didn't ask about this channel. Obviously, you guys are like, we miss you. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, I know. I know. It just, but yeah. So, anyways, that was other reasons why. So, it was a lack of confidence. And then I had to just see like just where I was at in general. But we're in a new era now. Pluto's in Aquarius to stay. It's a wrap. We have Saturn, Jupiter square again in December on the 24th. And it's like, okay. So for a while, I felt like that Saturn Jupiter square in August, which is August 19th, I felt like that was such a calamitous, like, like 19 years back. It was such a calamitous time in August where it broke everything down to pull us all back down into Pluto and Capricorn energy. And so I feel like a light switch, this Saturn Jupiter square in December is turning back on the Pluto and Aquarius. So it's kind of like creating chaos again to break, especially mental matrices of Pluto and Capricorn. And so for me, part of that mental matrix is like, oh, I need to hide who I am, or I need to hide this, or I need to be careful because what if people don't like me, or, whatever. That kind of stuff. It's just very Pluto and Capricorn coded, and it's just over. So it's time to go. Like, it's time for that era to be done. So that's a huge thing too of why I'm back. And then, yeah, there was just a lot going on back then. I don't know. I don't know, Lisa. I would assume it would change the way you feel, or it would change like I would think it would change your emotional framework forever, basically. It would be like totally different after that time. Um, so yeah, it's been a minute. So I think what we have to look forward to, which again, I've also missed talking about astrology on here. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really missed it because there's a lot of astrology over the past few months, and I was like, gosh, like I wish I could sit here and talk about it because I loved it. But basically, it's a very negative time. It's extremely like pessimistic. Jupiter is extremely weak in this square. Jupiter's debilitated in Gemini. It's not great, which means the optimism is really bad. This is recessionary. We have so many transits astrologically that are basically stating the economy is trash. And it's trash. It's really, really, really bad. So, all I can do to offer some kind of hope with that is that this is the bottom. This is as low as it will get. It's still going to be pretty bad, honestly, probably for another month. But as we get into February, it will start to improve. I honestly think it has a lot to do with the administration, at least in the United States. This administration got to go the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. I have to be real. Has not been good. So it's time to go. So we are getting new leadership in the United States, and I do think that that will shift the economy here pretty drastically. So that's one thing that I do think will happen, but you won't see that change really till like February. After February, we have a lot of we have Mars retrograde is ending, which Mars retrograde has to do with energy. So I think pretty soon, as we get to the end of this retrograde cycle, I think that the energy costs will shift. It will start to go down, especially as Saturn goes towards Neptune, which is happening in the spring. So there are astrological signs that gas prices will go down, or the cost of oil will go down going towards basically the spring. When Saturn approaches Neptune, it brings that down, which will have some at least relief in terms of inflation. So that's happening. And then we have a Venus retrograde happening in March. That's always important as far as economically too, because Venus is very financial. So I would say the Mars retrograde and the Venus retrograde, they both have to do with the economy in different ways. But the Mars has to do with the energy. So the way that we think about energy is changing. And then the Venus has to do with like money and actual economic factors shifting. But it's still going to be weird. It's going to be, okay. I need to be real with y'all. 2025 is really difficult for the first like half at least. It's still very hard. So I told you guys forever, like I have talked about 2025 forever as being like the time when it gets better and when it's actually a good year. But it's not really good until like October. So it's still a long time. 2025 is a year of a lot of really harsh beginnings. It's a year of a lot of really harsh, emotionally jarring beginnings and things, and where change occurs that's very drastic, and you have to really be adaptable in 2025, and you have to be willing to handle change. I'm really going to have to like basically kill my Scorpio rising a little bit. So I've had to lean so heavily into my Scorpio rising the past few years, but I'm going to have to not in 2025. It's just not a great energy. You have to be like more adaptable and like more ease inducing, and not like eating disordering, not like toxic ritualistic, not like OCD. Don't be that way in 2025. It's not good. It's very harsh to be that way because you don't necessarily have control, and it will feel out of control. And it's a lot of very new things happening that we've never seen before. So I think it will be really hard for a lot of people, but it has to be hard in order for things to change because things are so terrible at this time. So yeah, I'm going to get my presents started for prezzies. Oh, Goblin, I'm talking about the astrology of 2025. And I'm just relaunching this channel again. So that's basically what's popping. And then I'm going to wrap some prezzies. But they're just stocking stuffers, so it's nothing cray. Problematic body check. This is the fattest I will be because I'm really bloated and I've been eating like a hog. So 1 second. I'll get the tape. Okay. My mother was rocking upstairs. Up the stairs. Save. Oh God. I don't want that. My undies probably showed. You know what? We're letting the undies show. I don't care this time. It's 2025 almost. You guys can see some underwear, okay? Because these pants are not working with me. They're just not working with me right now. So I just don't even care anymore. It's time to get over it. It's time to get over shit. You can't control things, Alex. You can't control your underwear showing. So a lot of these are like really, they're very, very basic presents, like extremely so. Let me see. So they're kind of boring, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So don't be too like oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, it's just like candies and stuff like that. I got some wine for this wine jello that I have every Christmas, which we usually would use Burgundy, which is so maroon. I don't know if Lisa's still here, but that is so maroon. But they don't sell Burgundy anymore unless you buy this huge ass bottle that we're never going to drink. And so I just got Merlot, which I know I don't care. I'm not going to tell my mom and grandma. They're probably going to be like, that's a weak one, or that's not good enough, or whatever, but I don't care. We don't use a lot of it. And I'm not going to spend like $5 million for a bottle of wine. This isn't August, okay? It's not Augustine. So, no, we're not doing that. This is December. This is still technically Taylor Swift season, for the record. I guess I can show you what's on Rocky. So, this is for my grandma. My grandma loves these, which she has so much candy. I don't know what the hell. Like, we got her so much candy. In fact, I need to get the other stuff. And my underwear is going to show up again. It's going to piss me off. My boobs are out. Everything's flopping everywhere. I'm so fucking bloated. I'm going to weigh like 5,000 pounds by the time I get to start my deficit again. Okay, my pants are like up to my chest. Actually. So. Yes. So I'm not going to just do my grandma stuff because we did a lot. We did quite a bit of shopping. I'm surprised. I'm quite surprised because I will say this is definitely a Biden Christmas. This has been horrible. Horrible. Like, I want to know, have you guys had any like, okay, as you guys know, I go in public a lot. Like, I don't want to say what my job is on here, but I go in public a lot. Yes, that is Lisa. People are so frazzled. They're just like, they are at their wits' end. There's no holiday spirit. There's no Christmas spirit. It's like horrible, basically. And I want to know, like, have you guys experienced that too? And I think it's because the economy is so bad. It's so hard to have a Christmas with it being this bad. Like, inflation is like surging. I see the prices of everything going up constantly at the store. A grown woman curses at me today. Oh, period. Over a parking spot. I love that. No, it doesn't feel like Christmas. It's very negative. So that negativity, that has to do with the Saturn-Jupiter square, which, as I told you guys, Jupiter is really weak. And Saturn is stronger than Jupiter. Jupiter is also retrograde, so it's really, really, really weak. So it's very negative and this is very recessionary. This is a very recession-y time. So it's hard because it doesn't just go economically with this transit, it's also personal. So it's like people don't have any time or energy or money. So it's like a constant struggle to do anything because people are swamped financially and time-wise. And it's like everything you do, you can only really do what's the most important to you. So that's honestly what this time is about. It's all about like figuring out what is important to you. Because I get sticker shock all the time. I do. I don't have much free time at all either. That's also why I haven't been doing this live anymore, because I don't really have any free time. But then I was like, I think it'll get better, I guess. So I'm going to just do it. And I had some time that I wasn't expecting. So I was like, I'll just do this. I refused to give it to her and told her she was acting like a clown. Wow. That's crazy. You know what's funny is that happened. I saw that in a parking lot the second Jupiter went into Gemini. I saw people like totally get in a huge fight right in the parking lot. Jupiter and Gemini, I'm not like the biggest fan, honestly. It's pretty harsh. It's a harsh transit, but it's been very activating for me as I have Mars there. So I've been very activated all year and like very rhetorical and all these things. But it's fugly because that South Node in Libra is like killing us all. Okay, so Jingly Jingly. These are like, I guess, whatever. My mom went to Trader Joe's. I don't know what this is. I'm just showing you guys so you can see what I'm rocking because I figure it's going to be like a little haul moment. But my grandma doesn't eat ProThyroid, so my mom just kind of got whatever. Because the biggest thing with my grandma is that it's really annoying because she doesn't use anything. So if we buy her stuff, she won't use it. She won't use anything. Like legitimately anything. Like it was so bad. Like last year I was also biting Christmas. So I was struggling last year. I was like, ooh, girl. So I had to like, I bought presents for people, but it was like Jupiter and Taurus coded, which that year was so boring. Last year was so boring. I literally almost died of boredom. And so all my gifts were really boring. They were really practical. And like, I literally bought my mom like Scrub Daddy sponges. And I bought like my grandma, I bought her damp bread for Christmas and I wrapped it, which is very Joe Biden coded, I will just say, because you don't have any money when he's in office. So that's what I did. I wrapped damp bread for my grandma and put it under the tree last year. And basically, that was cute. And it's a pretty low bar. You know, like you don't think of damp bread as like, oh, this is so hard to like use, or, you know, it's not practical, or, you know, people just won't use this because blah, 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 right? My grandma literally didn't use it. All it takes is opening up the box and hanging it in the closet, and she wouldn't even do that. That is the level of this woman. So when it came to her stocking, it's like we have to just buy like food or like things like that because she won't use anything. Because I dead ass called my grandma. I literally said this to her. I called her and I said, this is a Joe Biden Christmas. I'm not just going to get you something just to get it for you. Like it has to be worth it. It has to be like, you are going to use this thing that I'm going to give you. Otherwise, I'm not going to get it for you. And she was like, well, da da da. And my mom was in the room and my grandma was like, well, like I really want like, I'd love like an ornament. And my mom dead ass was like, no, she won't use it. She's like, I'm vetoing that. And I'm like, she won't. Because she wouldn't even use the damp bread. And I told her that. I'm like, you didn't even use the damp bread. It's like literally, she could bring it back over. I could rewrap it again and give it to her again this year. That's the levels. Okay? Like, I am just saying. So I did get her something. I had an idea. And I was like, I know what I'm going to get her because I will use it. I will force it to be used. So what I ended up getting her, I bought her this plant back here, this one, back in 2023. She won't be watching this. And so basically I bought her that for her birthday that year. And it was actually really cute. It had like a little gnome thing in it. And it was just like, it was cute. And she loves it. She named her Ava. So she's Ava. But my grandma got a surgery in October. And so she left Ava over here. or my mom brought Ava over here so I could take care of her because my grandma wasn't going to be able to because my grandma had back surgery. So basically, I bought a bigger pot for Ava, and then I bought the soil to go into it. And that's what I did. And I know that I will change the soil and I will change all that. I might actually get her another plant. I'm debating on that if I can find because I go to Lowe's. I go to Lesbian Lowe's. Goblin, you would love that. By the way, Goblin, I mentioned you in my video tomorrow, which I don't know how my video is going to go over tomorrow. Honestly, it's kind of weird. I really went esoteric with it, and I'm like, ooh, sweetie. I don't know if people are going to understand what the fuck I'm saying, but oh well, whatever. If they don't, it doesn't matter. So it's Christmas. And that's going to be my excuse for everything. It's going to be like, it's Christmas, so we don't know. We don't know. So basically, that's pretty much everything. Some other kind of funny gifts I got. So my as you guys know, my cousin had a baby, and obviously this year I've seen the baby and all that stuff, and I've gotten to know my cousin's husband better because I've been going into their house. And so what I bought their daughter, like basically my cousin said that she wanted like books to read the baby. And I was like, okay. So my mom got her like, like we just got like kind of these traditional books, like The Hungry Caterpillar, for example, stuff like that. So I got my cousin just a more traditional book. I got her Goodnight Moon, which is really cute. It's very classic. I don't know if you guys know that book, but it's really cute. And I also bought, oh my God, tea. I bought my, I guess, I don't know what to call her. I guess I can just, yeah, it's the book Goodnight Moon. I guess she's technically my second cousin or something. I don't know. My cousin's kid. I bought her first. I'm pretty sure it's her first lesbian jacket. The first one of her entire life. I'm so proud. But I was at Walmart, and I don't know, like the girl clothes are just not. It's not plaid. It's not on that level. But it's brown. It's very like Evermore coated, and I was like, I love it. I think it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. I don't know if it was for a boy or a girl. I don't know if Walmart is like, I was confused. I was gender confused being at Walmart. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But it was really cute. And a lot of like the more girly stuff, it just wasn't cute. And so I was like, brown is neutral. I was like, if my cousin wants to like femme it up, she can put like pink pants on her or something and brown would go with it. But I was like, it's such a cute jacket. It's like a hoodie. I was like, oh gosh, not my mom reading her room.
Am I able to come down?
No.
Well, I need my chips.
Well, what chips? I'll bring them.
They're the sour cream ones in the cupboard.
Okay, I'll bring them now.
You gonna bring them to my room, or do you want me to wait here?
You can just wait there. I'm live, so don't say anything crazy.
Talk about your butthole.
No, don't talk about my butthole. Oh my God. Mother. When you have a 7 as a mom. Okay. You just want the chips?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't believe Amanda played.
You're killing me, woman.
Sorry.
You know, she would kill you that you said her name live. It ain't me. I can put it on you. I know you guys love the fighting. I know you love it. Oh, that's why I left it. I was like, you know what? Let's just leave it because you never know what you're going to get with the 7. Literally within a second, my mom said something she wasn't supposed to. Anyways, telling you. Anyways. Not demure, not mindful. Oh, I almost forgot to show. So my mom also got these dark chocolate almonds for my grandma. Which my grandma loves nuts. She loves all like anti-thyroid stuff. That's like her favorite. She likes PUFA and almonds, and I'll never forget her PUFA pudding at Publix. That one kills me. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. PUFA pudding. Literally. Like, it sparked me saying at the time, the proof is in the PUFA pudding. Like, it literally, there is PUFA pudding at Publix. It has canola oil, which isn't the worst, but it's still awful. It's horrible. So I was like, oh my gosh. Anyways. But anyways, how have you guys been? I haven't. I love that Goblin's cackling, but I know that you guys both, like you and Goblin, you both would be proud that the little baby, she's gonna have her first lesbian jacket. I'm excited, but it was really cute. Like, you have to understand, it was the cutest jacket ever. And this is baby's first winter, so baby needs a jacket. Yeah, baby needs one. The babes. But anyways, the other gift I gave, besides Goodnight Moon, is to my cousin's husband. I also gave him a book to read to the baby. So I was looking at all these different like books. Like, I was trying, Lisa. Like, I was at Walmart and I was trying to find something Taylor Swift coded. I was trying so hard to find something. But the thing with Taylor, you have to be really careful if you're gonna like have Taylor around a baby, because Taylor she's not only like super SJW, but she's also satanic. So you have to be careful with her because you don't know what you're gonna get. And so I almost bought this book that was about Taylor to be read to the baby, but it had SJW in it. And I was like, I'm not buying that. So I put it down. I'm like, I'm not having that read to an innocent child's ears. So I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't. And then, but what I did, because as a Swiftie, I will find a way. I will find a way. So what I actually did is there's a book that's called Who Are the Kelsey Brothers? And so I gave that to my cousin's husband. And it tells the story of Travis, and I forgot the other guy's name. I literally forgot his name. But it tells the story of them. And in the book, it has Taylor Swift in it. Still, I'm going to show you guys. I have a picture. So I still found a way. So it's like hidden Taylor within. And I found it. So I still found a way. And it has like this picture of them at the Super Bowl. Super cringe, honestly. It like kills my soul. But I think it's funny because I know my cousin's husband does not like Travis that much. Like, he literally was like, he should just retire. I mean, fun fact, you guys, like, people in football, they are not feeling Travis anymore, like, as much. Oh my God. I always get paranoid. So I have to put my phone in airplane mode. Look at that. Look at that. The devil is in the book. Devil. Found a way. She ain't doing anything crazy. Oh, this one's even cringier. It says, in 2023, Travis started dating singer-songwriter Taylor Swift. Their fans loved seeing Taylor cheering at Travis's games alongside his friends and family. That's not true. A lot of people hated it. Rewriting history. Still got it. So I died at that. I just died. So but anyways, so I bought it. I got it. I was like, okay. Because it talks a lot about like the football and stuff. Like, it actually does. And like, they all love football, and I'm sure they're gonna want the baby. I keep on saying the baby's name. I'm sure they're gonna want the baby to like be into football or whatever too. So I was like, okay. Okay. Okay, now my mom also got these. These are dark chocolate sea salt caramels. You can kind of see the kind of girly pop my grandma is. I got Taylor Swift glasses a couple weeks ago. Oh my God. Oh my God, I love that for you, bot. I know, I need to get new glasses, honestly. I'm over it. But anyways, you can kind of see, like I said, the type of girly pop my grandma is, where it's like all like chocolatey, nutty, that kind of stuff. She likes that. Oh my gosh, this person is so weird. So weird. Anyways. So yeah, so I was just like, I literally was like, so, I don't know, like, I looked at a lot of stuff. I know, Goblin. I think, unfortunately, they kind of are. But was I supposed to not react? I never said I wasn't going to. Anyways. I don't think so. I don't think it is. Which is kind of sad. Anyways. Okay, and then my mom got these ones too, because they're supposed to be like kind of like a Reese's kind of, but not. Which I think my mom is going to be triggered that they're like I think they were kind of like she was trying to do milk, but because my grandma likes milk chocolate, but my mom didn't find it. You're a dark chocolate person, huh, Goblin? I'm not a huge dark chocolate person. I'm just kind of like meh. But I know, and I was gonna get some Reese's. I was gonna get like one, but it was $2 for one tree. I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, and again, I have sticker shock constantly in this economy. But I still was like, that's too much. I'm not doing it. So I didn't get it. Because I'm like, that's ridiculous. But the thing that is crazy to me, like I haven't bought junk food in forever because I don't, or at least not certain types of junk food. Yes, literally $2. I don't think that I have, like, I haven't bought certain things in years because I haven't eaten like like a Reese's treat since like 2020. It's been a long time because it's too poofalish. So so basically I was like, I'm always shocked. Like I'm shocked by the price of chips, for example. Like I used to be like, that was like my number one binging food was chips. And the price of chips has gone up so high at this point. I'm like, I literally don't even know where people buy them. I just don't even get it. And don't even get me started on fast food. I would not even. Okay, this one is espresso. This is kind of Sabrina coated. It's espresso beans. It's Sabrina Carpenter coated. But whatever. My mom got those too, so we're gonna go with it. I will say too, that like I am so serotonin so bad. And I'm like, I don't know if it's a good idea for me to be live, but I don't know. I just don't care anymore. I'm like, I miss it. They're a little bit, they're not like bad, but I've had serotonin hands all day. And then like they are rosy right now. Like I can tell. But I haven't been as bad lately. So, but now, like, I don't know. I'm kind of worried about next year, you guys, honestly. Like, I feel like I'm going to probably, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to go a little cray-cray again. And, because this is the winter solstice and it's pretty weird. Like my body feels like it does in March, which it's like, ooh, that's really different. But it's not a bad thing. Like I can handle that way that feels seasonally. But what freaks me out is like, where the fuck am I going to be in June? You know, or like if March is now December, then what the fuck will March be? You know? So I don't know. It's going to be kind of wild. Okay, then I guess these are like trail mix crackers. This is big. This is not a stocking stuffer. This is just like, this is like bigger than this is big. That's not a stocking stuffer. Okay. Anyways, so how are you guys doing in general? I feel like I tried to ask and you didn't say anything. How is this Saturn Jupiter square treating you? I'm just kidding. No, I think it's very frustrating. Yeah, it's super frustrating. So like on an emotional level, the transits of this time are frustrating. There's a sense of frustration and sadness, honestly, you know? So that whole thing is tough. But I don't want to be as negative. Like I was feeling like I'm going to be so negative in January. Like I'm going to go for it, you know, and I was kind of being extra like in my mind for a second. But then I was like, you know, I don't think I should be that negative. Like I'm not really assed out anymore. Like I used to be so assed out like all the time. And that I think is what this time is about too. It's like, oh my God. We have to let go of these like Pluto and Capricorn mindsets. So Pluto and Capricorn is like, I hate my job, but I have to do my job to make the money. Or I have to settle for the person I don't really want because I don't want to be single. Like that's a very Pluto and Capricorn thing. Or because people will appreciate this person I'm with. Oh my God. No, Goblin, no. That's just you. If you couldn't afford to buy new pants, then you could blame Biden for that. You gotta learn. You gotta learn. I will say though, I hated. Oh, hey, Mark. Glad to catch one of your streams. Hope the holiday season goes well for you. By the way, do you have vids detailing what supplements you take for weight loss? I do. I had one for members, but it's basically, it's pine pollen, Polyrachis black ant, or whatever it's called. Ashwagandha. It has to be KSM 66 ashwagandha. No, it's okay. And stinging nettle root extract, and then I take a B complex, which I don't take a B complex all the time, but I think I was having some low B vitamin symptoms and I needed to take it. But that's all kind of thyroid-y, I guess. Oh, no problem, Lisa. Oh, and no, don't worry, Mark. I'm glad you're here. Because I guess you haven't been here that much. Or I don't know if I've seen you on this channel, honestly. But I don't think I'm going to go live on the other channel for like a hot ass minute. Probably not until like May or so. Oh my God. No, it isn't, VL. You're such a liar. You're a liar. I've missed you, VL. Yeah. It's like restlessness, for example. Like I struggled a lot with restlessness. It was really bad. It 100% is not. That room was in freaking El Paso. I'm not in El Paso. El Paso, Texas. I'm stalling and trying different things, and no, I don't think I've been on this channel. Oh, it did? That's weird. Not this channel actually being suggested. That's wild. Well, welcome. I just relaunched it. So it was dead for a minute. I died on here. Now I'm coming back in my reputation era. No, I'm just kidding. It's not really my reputation era yet. We had a whole discussion in the beginning. The TV and TV stand. Yes, they are the same. That's true. That's true. We have a nice tray. We've got quite a nice tray going on here. We actually have a tray. So we didn't expense this year. Last year it was super Biden-y because we didn't even have a real tree. That was upsetting. But this year it's a little bit meh, a little bit better, like a touch, but not really. It's actually not. I feel like though I was able to get like more fun stuff, but it's like fun stuff that's dirt cheap and has Travis Kelce on it. Which, by the way, have you guys ever noticed how in their face? Like, I literally was at the grocery store and they're on like cereal boxes and everything. It was horrifying. I was like, oh my God, I can't with this. I think they were on like Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something. Merry Christmas, Mackie. Merry Christmas. I'm excited for Christmas. But yeah, I'm nervous for next year. Like I said, I'm like, ooh. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little scared because I feel like I'm going to be, I don't know. I just don't even know. I'm a little worried, I guess. Maybe that's the negativity of the time you know, it's very negative. Okay, let me put, I'm gonna wrap this one. This is for my mother. Tell my mother this, don't tell her. We have a bit of a tradition with these. So I know she got them for me and she loves them, so I got them for her. So I'm gonna wrap it. That goes in my mom's. Yeah, I had that TV. Well, the TV I think is different too, technically, VL, but how have you been, VL? But the stand is the same. The stand I used, it was in my apartment in El Paso, which I'm supposed to act like that time never happened, but it did. And I live with it forever in my mind. It's horrible. Truly quite terrible. It was horrid. Anyways, how are you doing, Mackie, if you're still here? I haven't done live in a minute. I'm a little rusty. Slightly rusty. But I have seen the Charlie drama, by the way, VL. I have been paying attention. I haven't commented because I don't want to say anything about it. Winter's hard but making it through. Okay. Are you talking about for weight loss? Or are you talking about for something else? Or just in general? I don't know why, but I feel like what bothers me so much too, like, okay, weight loss, yeah, it's really, I'm not doing it right now. But I'm going to start probably really soon, like probably on the 26th. 26th to 28th is my timeline. And I'm going to go to the gym on the 26th. So yeah, that's on period. I was going to go to the gym today, but I was like, I'm not, because I have too much stuff. So I'm not, because Christmas is kind of crazy. Oh, I said I have watched the Charlie drama video, but I haven't been like, oh yeah, I'm sure, Mackie. I haven't been like commenting on it is all, but I've seen it. And I saw that he got out of jail. So. Okay, let me see. I think I did this wrong. I did. That is really stupid. Okay, this is kind of a weird one from my mom, but this is this random mouthwash. My mom wanted mouthwash for Christmas, so I was like, okay. I'm like, that's a little bit 2023 coded. Like we're wrapping freaking damn bread and sponges and shit like that, like I did last year. I was just so surprised last year because I could actually get presents even if they were like weird or like practical. Because I feel like in the year before I couldn't do anything. I was so broke. Oh my god, I've been broke for so long. But I was talking to Eric on the phone today, and I was just like, "Hello, Bubba." I was just like, literally, the thing about this time, like astrologically too, is that all of our problems at this time are like, they're all very long-standing issues. So it's like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling financially. It's like, okay, I have been forever. Oh my gosh, I'm fat. I have been forever. Oh my gosh, I don't know, insert problem. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm, tripping over a guy. I'm tripping over my crush. Okay. Same thing, it's been a long-standing issue. Dating has been a long-standing issue. It's like everything's been a long-standing problem. So it's like nothing's new. It's all old and tired. Oh, I feel so hypothyroid. I have been for years. It's like, this doesn't matter. So I think that's kind of what I'm looking at too, is like, how do we just like, how do we get out of these like mental matrices of Pluto and Capricorn, or like what worked? Like that feeling of dying all the time. It doesn't work anymore. Like you can't be like that, or you can't be like, oh, I just want to, I don't know, like you can't be that like hyper competitive, black and white thinking, like a lot of stuff. You just can't be like that. Like I feel like a lot of the stuff I had mentally with my eating disorder, it just does not work with Pluto and Aquarius. It's like you just cannot be that way. And that's the hard thing about December too, is like we have this shadow of it still over us. So people are still really negative and like very like thinking about the past and thinking about like, oh, these people hurt us, and you know, like this person hurt me and that kind of stuff. It's not good to be that way in 2025, for the record. You don't want to be that way. You want to be less toxic, more forgiving, more like light as a feather, you know? And so I'm trying, because I've been very like doom and gloom for a long time. So it's like, in that doom and gloom, it helped me survive, you know? So it's like, how do I deal with being out of that? And it's tough. So that's really what this time is for, is to like adjust to like a new paradigm, basically. And then you can't be like, you can't weaponize. Hello, John. It has been a while. You can't weaponize the past either. So I think if you try to do that in 2025, it's going to not go over well at all. It will be seen as like, ugh, you know, and people will be like, ew, shut up. Forgive but never forget. Yeah, perhaps. I mean, it is also about like trying new things and stuff. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited, but I think there's a lot of trends that are going to shift in 2025. I think in a positive way. Like for example, the year is really shaped by, honestly, an economic recovery. So that's really what a lot of next year is. It has to do with economic recovery. And then the other aspects, there's a lot of like emotional things that happen in 2025 or that are going to happen. So a lot of shocking events and things like that, and things that have never happened before, right? Like this kind of stuff is going to be big. It's also the year of the snake. So it's shocking. There's a lot of shocking things that will happen, a lot of things that upset people. And so don't expect to be like, you know, it's not necessarily easy. That's what I was trying to say, which Bot earlier was like, oh my gosh, what? And I'm like, sorry, it's not. Like, would you rather I just lied and was like, it's easy. It's going to be amazing. It's not. It's going to start very harsh. But I'm going to be posting again, so I'll be talking about it as it goes on. But what I see for January is extremely rage-ified. Don't expect to be regulated. What do you mean by that? Or like as regulated, maybe? I do think the limits are not quite there anymore, for sure. But yeah, I would say my predictions for January based on the astrology is basically there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of, oh yeah, definitely that too, Mackie. With Mars in Cancer, it's going to be retrograde still. So there's going to be a lot of very upset women. So there's a lot of women going crazy. We still had that with the, there was a shooter that was a woman. That's not typical. But Mars isn't in Cancer right now, but it's still a part of the retrograde cycle. So it's interesting that we had that during this time, within this Mars retrograde, partially in Leo, partially in Cancer, but they kind of blend throughout the retrograde. So you're going to see a lot of that. I also think too, it's interesting. Mars goes back into Cancer on January 6th, which is obviously an important date. I shit you not, it literally goes back into Cancer that day. So I think there could be a lot of stuff, a lot of anger around that time and after that time. And I think it will be hard to be emotionally regulated. Cancer also rules emotions, remember? And families. There's a lot of family clashes as well, which again, these have all been happening because that Mars in Cancer, it's still kind of relevant. So that's probably like the hardest part of the first part of the year is there's just a lot of anger, a lot of rage and like frustration. And like I said, there's a lot, especially there's a lot of there's a lot of upset women and upset like femininity, like feminine people being very mad in that time. So if you are a woman, if you are feminine like me, just be aware of that and don't be volatile like that. Even though it's less edgy as it would have been in the fall, it's a little bit like more okay to be crazy basically in January. No, I don't think so. No, BL doesn't. But yeah, it's also like people who are very emotional, they will get really angry really easily. And I am emotional too, so I'm going to be like careful. But we had a taste of this in like September and October. So if you remember that time, that energy was there. So yeah, just be aware of that. So I wouldn't go crazy, but it has to do with like you can't be controlling. Just do not be controlling in 2025. It will not go well. It is an out of control year. So like I said, any like of that kind of ruminating anxiety and like I have to control this, I have to take control, that's not going to work in 2025. You will sink like an anchor in the water. Like you will just not do well whatsoever if you do that. You will go down fast because it's not supported. A lot of that stuff is very Pluto and Capricorn, where it's like, I have to control this person because, you know, my security is involved with that person. Like my inner security is involved with that, how that other person behaves. So I have to control how that other person behaves. That's very Pluto and Capricorn. That's over. It's a wrap. So always remember that Pluto and Aquarius is about autonomy, self-motivation, and intrinsic motivation. So, and it's about honestly like a detachment from trauma. So emotional detachment from past hurts. So if you do that stuff, you'll be in a better place. Yeah. So I think that Mars in Cancer is kind of like, it's a little bit of a test, I guess. It's a little bit of a trap. I'll put it to you that way. It's a trap. So if you flip out and you're like crazy emotional and you're just like, I hate everybody and whatever, and you just go on like these crazy rants, you will probably not do as well throughout the year. It will set you up really badly. So I feel like it's kind of a little bit of a trap. So I'm going to be careful. I was very careful last time. That's also partially why I stopped going live, because I was very careful. And I know for me, I'm going to be back in my deficit during that time, and I'm probably going to be a little volatile. So I'm probably going to feel kind of volatile in January. So I'm like, okay, let me just be careful, you know? But I have very low expectations. Maybe it won't be as bad as I'm thinking. I hope not. I really hope it isn't, because that would be really ugly. Okay, I only have like one more. of these. This is I'm just checking. Yeah. This is a calendar, I guess, that my mom bought my grandma. So I'm just gonna grab this, just a seasonal one. That the TV is big. Sorry, I know that was a late answer, but it is. That's still part of the stocking, actually. But yeah, so that's kind of, I guess, my suggestions astrologically is like, don't let that get out of control. And then the other thing, I don't know, be very careful about cutting people out of your life. So if you're going to do that, you need to mean it. Because if you do that, like with Pluto changing sign, it's probably forever. So it's very final, which a lot of people did that last year over the election, which I think is really stupid. Basically, to anybody who did that, I think that's really dumb. If you had like actual personal issues or like severe personal problems, that's a different situation. But people who cut out their family, they're probably never going to have their family back. You know, it's more final because of that Pluto shift. And with Pluto in Aquarius, it's almost always better to have more people in your life than less. So, and more support. So just be very careful. I think with Pluto and Capricorn, division, hatred, breakup, splitting, these types of things were actually supported during that time. During that, it's a 15-year transit. It was a long time, but that type of stuff, especially prior to 2020, it was very supported to like cut someone out of your life and be like, fuck you. You would be like supported for that, or you would grow and learn from doing that. With Pluto and Aquarius, it's only a harm. Typically, it's like a huge harm. So I would just be very careful with that and only do it when you absolutely have to. And don't do it easily because it's not a smart decision at all. So yeah, just be very careful, because I think if they were in your life up till that point, like up till this point, then they should probably stay there. If they were really that bad, you probably would have already cut them out prior. So yeah, because I had splits from certain family members. Like I get it. My reasons were not really political or religious, but I think sometimes when you have problems with people, you kind of use that as an excuse to be done. And I think that there was a little bit of that with me back in the day. But it still was probably for the best, because with that family and stuff, I always had problems. But I always say, like, there was a huge cost from doing that. Like, I feel like there's a lot of, like, especially millennials on TikTok that are really huge on cutting people out of your life or cutting out family members. It's not good. Or like getting a divorce. They're just like, just divorce, just get a divorce. Like there was this one chick, she's like, I'm pro-divorce. And I'm like, you're stupid. Like, what the fuck? But it's like, no, you know, like these are big decisions. They should not be made lightly. I'm not saying you shouldn't make them, but it's like, no, your quality of life will probably go down. Like even like if you have less people, you have less support and you're more on your own. So it has to be worth that. Like you have to think of it that way. Like it's not like a good thing to just have less support in your life. It's just stupid, you know? Because even if you think about it like financially, it's a lot harder. Like the more alone you are, the more hard it is to survive in general. And I think that those differences, they'll be especially stark with Pluto and Aquarius when group activities, partnerships, multiple people working on a similar goal, it's extremely supported with Pluto and Aquarius, as Aquarius rules groups and like community. So I would just be really careful. Whereas like Pluto and Capricorn, it was like, I'm going to do this on my own. Like that was a path you could take at that time, but it's over. So just be careful. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I do think a lot of families are going to split with that Mars in Cancer. There's a lot of family problems coming to the surface. And a lot of people's relationship with their mom is coming up. But I do think people will actually fix the problems. So that's good. I think there's a lot of work that can be done during the beginning of the year where it's about the family issues and you can finally work things out. And it brings about more of a time of peace. As you remember, Pluto in Aquarius is more peaceful or more, it's not as dark as Pluto in Capricorn. That's the best way I could put it. Fanatics like to isolate their followers. That's true. And I would not suggest isolation in 2025. It's not good. The first half of the year is still very platonic. The second half of the year is romantic. So, yeah. It's hard in the beginning of the year to date. So if you're single, it's tough. In March especially is going to be very difficult. I think a lot of people will break up in March. But by the time we get to October, it's very romantic. So I think it will be a lot easier to find somebody during like that time. But it's also, in general, I think it's easier to date in like May. Drones or orbs in your state? No, I don't think so. My state's irrelevant. Nothing happens here. Thank God, I guess. I haven't looked into that stuff much because I don't even know. I haven't really been paying attention to politics that much, if I'm honest. All I see is the shitty economy. So I see that every day. But I don't see I don't watch the news and stuff that much. The other advice I have for 2025 is do not doom scroll and be very careful about like Twitter and TikTok. They're very toxic. Those are two very toxic platforms. They're very negative. And I think my biggest issue with both of them is this idea that both of them have. Like both TikTok and Twitter have this idea ingrained into the software where it's like how I feel about something or this one idea I have applies to everybody. There's like an inherent implication. Like if you look especially at like gender stuff, like there's so much like male versus female, manosphere versus feminist type of stuff. On both TikTok and Twitter, they will tweet something or say something in a TikTok and act like it applies to every single man, every single woman, every single person. It's stupid as fuck. And it's a huge issue with those platforms because I don't know if it's just me getting older or if it's like just the sign of the times, Pluto and Aquarius, whatever. Pluto and Aquarius is so gray. It's not a black and white thing. So it's like Pluto and Capricorn is so black and white with everything. But it's really fucking annoying to me now to see like people say like, if a man does this, then this. You don't know. It's too specific. Or if a woman does this, it means this. It's too specific. Like the stuff that people are talking about is so like myopic and annoying. Yes, exactly, Mackie. Like enrage bait is one of the ways that people will try to make money because people are struggling. And I will say it is tough on social media to make money and stuff. It's tough. The economy is really bad. Like, do not believe people who say it's not. It's awful. This is probably one of the worst economies we've ever had. So the good thing is that it's bottoming out and it will probably start getting better. But it's bad. And I think when people don't have money or when they're unable to make money on social media, then they try to rage bait. But there's a lot of issues with that, as it can bring a lot of chaos into your life, and I don't plan on doing that personally. I don't plan on doing that because it's just not productive. And a lot of times it's not true to us, Like I will personally make a stance and say, like, I cannot stand Joe Biden. I hate his administration. I hate how awful he's run this country. But I'm not going to make a statement about every single person that's a Democrat, every single person that's on the left. I don't feel that way about everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think we have to stop like putting these overly generalized statements about groups just out there. And I've made that mistake too in the past, but I think that it's not good because there's gray. And, I don't even really know, like, I know what my political views are, but I think it's just so much more of a background thing in my life now. And I feel like that's better. That's healthier, It's just healthier. I think it's been, Pluto and Capricorn has made politics such a huge focus for so long. And I think that that's also going to be really different. 2025 will feel very personal in comparison. It's not really about politics anymore. Things are going to be different. And the reason why politics became so relevant is because the economy has been bad for a very long time. It's been rough since the 2008 thing. It's been horrible. It never really recovered, and I think it finally will. So when it finally actually recovers, people will kind of go back to normal. So that's something that you'll see too, is people kind of being more normal again, where they're just like kind of living their lives and shit, like I think there's a lot of post-COVID recovery in 2025, like things go back to normal and people start going out more and they start doing things again and that kind of stuff, especially in the later half of the year. The first half of the year, I told you, nah, it's rough. So it's still pretty harsh. But I still think there are some harsh new beginnings. There's still some harsh new beginnings in the first half of the year. And we have to go through these transformations. The reason why we have such a harsh transformation is because we're in such a bad spot. It has to shift drastically. And you'll find that most of the best solutions, they have more of a consensus, or many people of different opinions coming together on a certain issue. That stuff comes into fashion with Pluto and Aquarius. So it's good, and I'm hoping that we're going to actually ban the food dyes and stuff in America. I really hope that does happen in 2025, and it just might. There's a lot of stuff in 2025 about health and weight loss too. It is a very weight related year. Although I will say, I do think there's going to be the fat lash of 2025 where fat acceptance will come back up. I think a lot of people will gain weight. So weight gain is a huge trend in 2025, especially in the second half of the year, as I believe it's because the economy improves. And so people start eating. That's the first thing people do. So with an improvement in economy, people eat a lot. They probably eat too much. And I think a lot of people have been like, I haven't been able to eat like this in years, so I'm going to eat now. It's that kind of thing. I haven't been able to eat like this in a while, so I'm going to eat. It's that type of attitude. But it will lead to a lot of weight gain. And there might be some news about Ozempic too, which I'm interested in seeing. Because we have an eclipse in Virgo in March, which is health related. So I don't know. What's going to happen. I need to look at that one because I haven't seen that as much. I know you're excited for the Fat Lash 2025. Anyways, I'm excited too because I am really excited to just go to the I'm excited because it would help my channel. Basically, like I'm ready to fight them. So if they come after me or if they fight, I will fight. Because they were ready to fight in 2023 and they haven't really been that way this whole year. Like they've been kind of dead. But I think like Ozempic, it really was a moment for them where they feel like they have to shut up now. And I think if there's something with Ozempic, if something comes up where it's not as good for that, or if I don't know, if there's just something going on, then I think they will completely just go for it in terms of Fat Lash. Like, because the fat acceptance community, they will go totally batshit if Ozempic is somehow deemed not good, if that makes any sense. So it's going to be pretty crazy. But I know that they're trying to astroturf the bird flu too. So I wonder if that's part of it. I have to look at that. But I think if they try to do something, I don't think it will work. I think there will be a huge backlash against people who try to do a lockdown. I think it's going to go over like absolutely horribly if they try to do that. So it's going to be really bad. I think, like Newsom trying to do that, I think it's literal political suicide at this time, which I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, da, 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 da. But it's like, it's so soon. And if they really try to do that, I think it will lead to total uprising and people will not do it. I don't think people will comply. They tried to do it again in 2023. Do you guys remember that? When they were trying to bring back mandates and stuff in 2023? Because I do. They act like they didn't do that, but I remember in August they were trying to do it again. And now I think they're trying with that bird flu. So, I think people that did well in Pluto and Capricorn, or people who are very controlling, or people who are that way, they like Pluto and Capricorn and they're not going to want that to be over, but it is over. So if they try to do that, it's not going to go over well whatsoever. I will just say that as a warning. And that goes for all of us too. Don't be controlling. Don't be controlling towards people. Don't try to shame people. Don't try to like bully somebody into doing things. Like, just be genuine. Speak your mind. State what you want. State what you need. Do these things and it'll probably work better. Try to reach a consensus and an understanding. And I think that will go a lot farther now than it used to in previous years, because I think people are I feel like people want to come together, but it's just so difficult. So if you are somebody that pushes more towards people coming together in general, then you're going to do better, I think, too. Which for me, like within my activism, at least politically, there are people all across the spectrum that are good on the issue of weight and people all across the spectrum that are bad on the issue of weight. So I really gave up politics. Like, I'm not really involved. I still have my opinions, but it's not really relevant, to be honest. It's not as relevant to my life. And I've never understood making personal decisions based on politics. I don't understand that. Somebody's politics, in my opinion, it does not make somebody a good or bad person, for example. So I don't view things that way. I don't think it's good to view things that way. I think we need to still take politics seriously, but it doesn't need to be literally who you are. Like, to me, that's a very Pluto and Capricorn thing, to make politics such an integral part of your identity. And so, if people want to argue policy, they can. That's okay. If people want to debate politics, that's also okay. But I think making it less personal is probably the way forward, because it gets really nasty in general. And I just think that that's stupid. I think it's out of date now. That's my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, and then I think a lot of things are just be less judgmental in general. I think Aquarius represents like logic, so being logical and truthful, but not judgmental. It's different. So Pluto and Capricorn was so like shaming. Everything is shame, and you saw that a lot in politics during the time on both sides. I'm not calling out any side. I'm saying like people would shame each other a lot to try to get them to submit to things. And if people try to continue to do that, it won't go over well in this paradigm. So this paradigm, if you want to convince somebody to do something, you have to be logical and make a logical argument and be like, we should do this because this, and this. And then the person will think about it and they'll agree or disagree. That's how you would actually get your way. So it's different. Trust me, I know. I feel the difference. But that's what we have to do in general. And it's not just politics. It's also like in our families and just in our personal lives and in dating and everything, right? It's like it's a cultural shift. So if you want somebody to do something, plead your case. Don't shame them. Don't try to bully somebody into doing something. Just be more clear and concise and just state something, That's my advice. That's what I see. But yeah, it's going to be very sassy. I'm going to do I'm going to launch my podcast with Eric again on here for sure. And I'm sure I'll do some streams with Lisa and, maybe other people. Maybe I'll get Goblin on here eventually. I've been debating. Maybe I'll get Goblin. But yeah, I don't know. So we're going to do some stuff here. I do love this channel. I needed a break. I was spooked. I was scared too. I was just scared. I think that's the biggest thing is it was kind of a scary time. And the election was just so sharp. It was like, oof, like I didn't want to say anything on here that I would regret. I didn't want to be another annoying voice at the time. Like I just didn't want that. So I stayed off, and we're going to start fresh. And that's the suggestion I have too, is like, try to start fresh. Like we're going into a totally new paradigm with Pluto and Aquarius. It's totally new. So just kind of like, let's shit go and let's just move forward kind of thing. But anyways, you guys, I think I'm going to go. I'm glad to be back. We'll see when I come back. But I miss talking astrology with you guys so much. I missed it. And I miss these lives. I feel good. Like they feel good to do. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.